So I started doing LeetCode in 2015, but even after solving over more than 50 to 60 problems, I couldn't see any improvement in my problem solving skills. I took more than 90 minutes to solve a medium level question if I could solve it at all. And when I started giving interviews, I couldn't go past the first round. After a while, I realized I was practicing and maintaining the consistency, but my preparation was lacking a strategy. So if you are trying to find the right strategy to grill LeetCode and succeed in your tech interviews, this video can form a guide for you. Today we will discuss two problem solving approaches, depth first search or breadth first search. Let's start with depth first search or DFS. In DFS, choose a topic, filter out the problems using tags and do all the problems. For example, if I just read binary search, I will start from the easy level questions and go all the way up to hard problems. The pro of this approach is it will help you in building your confidence on that particular topic, and you would be able to trace out the code templates as well very easily. However, the biggest con here is you already know which algorithm or data structure to apply for solving that particular problem. Hence, your skill to find the best suited algorithm will remain undeveloped. Second approach is BFS, that is breadth first search. This approach breaks down the process into three parts based on the difficulty of questions, that is easy, medium and hard. You are supposed to start with easy level questions and go all the way up to hard level. The difference is you are not supposed to use the tags or filter out the problems based upon the algorithms or data structures. Now the biggest question. So which approach to choose? The answer is both. Follow DFS to gain confidence on a particular topic. Pick algorithms where you don't feel comfortable enough. Read about that particular topic and to practice use the tags to select that particular problem. Once you are sure that you know all the major algorithms, proceed to the BFS approach. Here now, do not use the tags feature, and the main goal of this approach is to prep you to identify the correct data structure and algorithm that you need to apply to solve a given problem. So now let's understand what things you should focus on for each level. Let's start with the easy one. Use the filter to select easy and most frequently asked questions and start doing them. While doing, you need to notice few things. First is use a timer. Start with 20 minutes and try to take it down to 10 minutes to solve each problem. Another is practice explaining your approach out loud. This will help you in explaining your thought process to the interviewer while you are coding. Another important tip is avoiding the misuse of run button. Do a dry run of your solution with different sets of input samples and click the run button only when you are 100% sure that this version is going to pass through. Now, if you are struggling with a topic, try to do more easy questions around it. And once you have submitted your solutions, you got the time complexity and everything and you are done, the next step is to refer to editorials and the top solutions present under the discussion section to find a more optimized version. Pick the most voted solutions under this section, but don't forget to check the comments as well, as sometimes a solution may be passed due to the programming language used and upvoted by people due to the length of the code and not its quality. And at the end, if you have any doubts, don't hesitate to put your questions under the comment section. Next in line is medium level questions. Most of the companies target medium level questions in their coding rounds. LeetCode has approximately 1200 of these problems, and these are usually a variation of easy level problems with more constraints like around time or memory. So while you are trying to do medium level questions, try to keep these points in mind. Keep in mind these 4 points. First is look out for patterns, like if you want to find frequency, you can use hashing, and in order to parse a given string, you can use a stack. This is the most important step that you need to master before moving to the next level. Second is LeetCode is not going to ask you the complexity of your solution, but your interviewer will. So before submitting any solution, always calculate the space and time for complexity and trade-offs and check if it against the editorial or discussion sections. Third is time limit. If you have found a suboptimal solution and are struggling to refine it further even after spending 20 to 30 minutes, then it's possible that you don't know the pattern or algorithm that is required to optimize it further. Try to use the hints section and, if required, read the solution rather than wasting more time around it. At the end, last is performance. After submitting your solution, pay attention to runtime and memory metrics given after the submission. If your solution is not beating 90 to 99% of solutions, then read the editorials to understand the most optimized version. At the end comes the hard level problems. Once you're comfortable in identifying the patterns across the medium and easy questions, move on to hard level. You will encounter hard problems mostly in bar raisers in interviews, and you will get approximately 40 to 45 minutes to solve it. So, in order to approach a hard level problem, first start with a brute force solution and use the BUD approach defined in the book Cracking the Coding Interview to optimize it further. In BUD approach, B stands for bottlenecks, that is the constraints or factors that can give TLE or out of memory for your solution. Like if you are sorting characters in a given string, the size of the string can become a bottleneck for you. Hence, the first step is going to be modifying your existing solutions so that such kind of constraints given by your interviewer can be handled by your own solution. Then U stands for unnecessary computations and D stands for duplicate work. These two are very similar to each other. For example, if you have to print factorial of all the numbers from 1 to 100, you can store the previous results rather than doing the recomputations. It may happen that you can't figure out even a brute force solution sometimes, irrespective of how much you try or for how much time you are trying. In this case, you can use the similar questions tab to find a similar problem and try to do it first and then come back to the harder version. There are few more optimizations that you can do while trying to target questions. Number one is double click the difficulty filter button. This will sort it on difficulty as well as acceptance level. If you are a premium user, you can also use a frequency filter as it's not possible to solve all the problems, and this filter can select the most trending questions for you. To check where you stand in comparison to others, try to take part in weekly challenges. Third is there is an add to list option in LeetCode to add questions to a specific list. So create two lists. Number one, favorites. For questions that you would like to revisit before your interview. It can contain problems that you found interesting, or if it's a solution is acting as a base for many similar problems like the famous sliding window problem for questions related to substrings. Second list would be the revisiting list. If you can't solve a question and have to view hints, add those questions to this list, and after 1 or 2 weeks try to solve them again. Last is in the discussion section, if you found an article that is sharing templates for questions, don't forget to subscribe to the discussion so that you remain updated about the latest update to its solution. So before we close off, one thing to keep in mind is there is no strategy that can cater to everyone's needs. Hence, while you are solving problems and giving interviews, try to find out the points where you can improvise. And if you do already have, please don't forget to share them in the comments for me and for other fellow engineers. Again, if you like this video, please don't forget to like and subscribe. See you all in next video.